Hi, it's Andy here at Photech Video, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to get photos like this one, painting on the light exactly the way you want it and seeing in real time how that light is affecting your image. You can literally add more intensity and different colors of light to the image and watch in real time on your monitor how the end result is going to be. Now this is a feature which I found scrolling through the menus on my Panasonic Lumix S5. But I understand that this same feature is also available in other Panasonic cameras. So what is this feature called and where can I find it on my camera? So the first thing we need to do is go into our camera menu, and we can see that we are on the red camera on the left hand side. So let's scroll across and right down to the final one, which is called Others Photo 2. And the second feature on the menu is called Live View Composite. This is the feature which is going to allow us to do this marvelous light painting. So let's click on that and we have two options, start and shutter delay. You can see that if we go into shutter delay, we can turn that off, or we can set it to 1 second, 2 seconds, 4 seconds, or 8 seconds. This just means that between each of the photos that it's going to take, there will be a delay of that time. So I have chosen the 2-second interval. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go up here to start. When I click on start, it now gives me a message saying, set the shutter speed on ISO sensitivity before pressing the shutter button to create a black frame image for noise reduction. So let's talk first about the camera settings which I've dialed in. One of the things about this feature is that if you have a shutter speed which is too fast, it will default. And if the shutter speed is below that default, then you're fine. You can choose whatever shutter speed you want. So it's a question of playing about a little bit with your settings. And why do I say this? Well, because we are going to create an initial image, and on top of that image, we are going to paint light over it. One of the amazing things about the Live View Composite feature is that once you've taken your initial photo, the exposure will only change if more light is added to the scene. If the light stays the same, then there is no change to the exposure. So what I want to do is to completely control the ambient light, as I always do in my small studio. To do that, I'm going to have to turn off my studio lights, because when I tell you the settings, you'll understand why. Normally my settings here in my small studio to control the ambient light completely and obtain a black image, I need to set my camera to the following. If I'm using flash 1/200th of a second, which is close to my flash sync speed, my ISO as low as possible to keep noise to a minimum, and an aperture of f6. Now with these settings I get a completely black image in my camera with the flash turned off. However, today we are not using flash, and with my video lights on and with a slow shutter speed, it's difficult to create that completely black background. So I'll be turning the video lights off during the capture of the image. So what are the settings that I've got dialed in? I have my shutter speed set to 1 second, my ISO at its minimum as always, which is 100, and this time my f-stop is at f52. Now you can see that at this moment both of my video lights are on, and we can see some of Quiet Carol, my model, and some of the background. We don't want to see that. We want to have complete black. And that's the reason why I'm going to be turning off these two video lights during the capture of the image. So who is this tool useful for? Well, this is an absolutely amazing tool for still life photography, product photography, for capturing light trails, and use your imagination to think of other photography styles that it could be used for. The great thing about it is there is no guesswork. We can literally see, as we're adding light to the scene, how that build-up of lighting is going to look in the final image. And when we have the look which we want, we just press the shutter release button again and the process is over. Now, the Panasonic Lumix S5 is a 24 megapixel camera. It offers files in both JPEG and RAW. Unlike other amazing features which the Panasonic Lumix S5 offers, which only deliver images in JPEG at a maximum of 18 megapixels, the Live View Composite feature allows you to capture in JPEG and in RAW at a full 24 megapixels, giving you the possibility to tweak your image even more in post-production. Okay, so I'm going to turn off our studio video lights to allow us to be able to paint light exactly where we want to. Okay, so as you can see, we have a completely black image on the monitor. So now I'm going to go into my menu. I'm going to select the Live View Composite. I'm going to leave it on the 2-second delay, and I'm going to press Start. Now I get the message telling me to set my shutter speed on ISO, which I've already done. So now I need to press down on the shutter release so that the camera can create the black frame to be able to reduce the noise. Now it tells me Live View Composite starts after shutter button is pressed. And so now I'm going to press the shutter button. Okay, and if we look down in the right-hand bottom corner, we can see that our exposure is set at 1 second, and we've already taken 12, 13, 14 exposures. And as you can see, it is still completely black. Okay, so I've just turned on one of my 2 studio video lights because I want you to be able to see what I'm going to be using to paint the light onto this image. So if this particular part of the video is a little bit grainy, I'm sorry. It's because the camera has automatically increased the ISO to be able to expose this particular part of the video correctly. Now, I have here a torch, and I could literally use this torch to add light to the picture. But because I've got other lights here in the studio, and because I want to add color as well, I'm going to be using my Ulanzi VL110 RGB LED tube lights. Now I've got 6 of these because I managed to pick them up at a really good price, and quite honestly, they are an excellent little light. I'm going to be using 3 of them. One of them is set to white at daylight, 5600 Kelvin, and it's on 5% of brightness. Another is set to this purple color that you can see, 50% intensity. And the third one, it's a teal color, and this one is set to 100%. Okay, so one of the important things when we're painting the light onto our model is not to get the actual physical light in the shot. So I'm going to do my absolute best to keep the lights themselves completely out of frame. So here we go with the first light. So let's go in. We can see now that we are getting some light coming into the image. We can see that her face is beginning to light up more on my left-hand side than on the right-hand side, because that's where I'm holding the light. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the intensity to about 15%, because when I add more light to the image, that's what we're going to be able to see being added. So at the moment, I don't want the other side of the model's face to have more light. So I'm just coming in now from this side at 15%. So if I move in a little bit closer, I can see that it's becoming brighter and we are lighting up our model's face. I don't want to go in any closer because I don't want you to be able to see the actual light source itself. So now I'm going to increase up to 30%. And let's come in again from the side and slowly bring that light up from the bottom to the top, watching as it adds light to the image. So we can see now that there is more light being added. Little by little, we're painting in. You can see there, that's absolutely amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to try and add a little bit more light to the darker side of our model's face. So if you remember, when I began to add light, I was adding 5%. So I've increased this now to 10%, just so that I can give a little bit more light. Now I'm holding my arm back so that the brightness doesn't go suddenly. And as I move the light up, I can see how it's affecting our model. So I'm just going to move in a little bit closer. And there we can see that we've illuminated more of our model's face. Now I'm actually going to make the brighter side even brighter. So I'm going to increase from 30 where it was, I'm going to increase it up to 40%. And I'm going to keep right back so that I can see exactly how this is affecting as I move in. Okay, so I'm bringing the light up now. I can see it on her face. And once I can see it on her face and that the angle is correct, I can start to move in so that that light is captured in the image. Let's crank it up to 50%. And again, do the same thing. I'm bringing it up from the floor, upwards until I can see it affecting my model's face. And then I'm moving in and watching the monitor at the same time until I can see it beginning to change. And there we go again. And we can see that we are painting on, and it's affecting more the brighter side than the darker side. I'm not going to get any closer because otherwise the light source will be in the photo. And I'm just going to do this one more time. And this time I'm going to bring it up to 70% of brightness. And I'm going to hold it as far back as I possibly can, just watching how it affects the brightness of my model's face. So I'm moving it up now from the floor. I'm moving it up. I want to illuminate some hair on this side. So we can see then that it's starting to get a little bit brighter. And we can see that the hair is becoming illuminated as well. So I'm holding this right up now in the air, and I'm getting in as close as I possibly can without this showing in the frame. And I think that that is more or less how I want it. In fact, I'm going to bring this right up to 100% now, and I'm going to concentrate more on our model's hair. So I'm holding right back. I want to get some more light in the model's hair. And you can see that it's just painting in now. I'm bringing this up slowly from the floor so that it illuminates our model. I can see how it's lighting our model, and I can also see in the monitor in real time how it's affecting the image. So the important thing to realize with this type of photography is that we're not really limited by time. We're limited by the temperature of the camera and by the battery. We've already been 7 minutes with this in real time. Obviously in the video I've edited to be able to make it shorter. We're actually on 434, 435 frames. So I'm happy with the lighting on our model almost completely. However, I'm going to try just one thing here, and that is I want to try to give some light to the darker side of our model's hair without affecting her face. And this is not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but that's what we're here for, to experiment. And I'm going to try to do that with just 10% of that purple color. And you'll understand why I'm going to bring the purple into this side in a moment. So let's see if we can try to create some purple here on our model's hair. And you can see it's beginning to illuminate. And I don't want to get my hand into the frame, so I think I'm going to have to increase the intensity just a little bit. In fact, just a little bit, no, I'm going to double it to 20%, and let's see how we can build up that paint here. So here we go again, just on the hair. And let's see, we can see now it's beginning to give color to our model's hair. So we're just going to do that one more time then, and this time I'm going to bring this up to 40% because I want to be able to see a little bit more color in her hair. So again, I'm coming in from the bottom. I'm getting as close as I possibly can without coming into the frame. Oh, I think I added just a little bit too much there, but I can't go back. But I'm fine with that because I love the rim light effect which it's given us. So why did I want to bring some purple into that side? Well, it's because now I'm going to add color to the background. Remember at the beginning I showed you I have the purple light and also the teal light. So because I've already put purple on that side of her face, I'm going to put the purple background part on the opposite side, on the brighter side of her face. So I'm going to keep as well out of the shot as I possibly can, and I'm going to bring my light up in a vertical position, not horizontal, and I'm just going to hold it behind our model like that. And there you have a perfect example of what I shouldn't have done. So remember, in all my videos, I always tell you that photography is practice, practice, practice. I got too close in, and therefore the light source has appeared in the shot. It's not a serious problem because we can crop this vertical in post-production and hopefully save the photo. But the principle is there. You can see that the background now is purple on the opposite side. Okay, and now I'm going to add the teal, and hopefully this time I'm not going to make the same mistake. So I'm going to come right out of shot and come behind the model, and again vertical. We can see the teal effect, which is mixed in with the purple effect on the other side. Okay, so I'm pretty happy then with the lighting effect that we have behind our model now, apart from the light source itself. So all I need to do now is to press the shutter release again, and it will begin to process, and it's already processed. That is really, really quick. We can see our created image. Just zoom in a little bit and we can see that the focus is very clear. So there you have it. A very, very interesting tool and certainly fun to use. The LiveView Composite on my Panasonic Lumix S5. So as you could see in the video, nobody is perfect. Unfortunately, right near the end, I got too close and the light source itself was visible. But we weren't here today to create a masterpiece. The idea of this video is to show you how the feature works. And the fact that the light source appeared in the final image right near the end is Murphy's Law. It's trial and error. These things happen. And next time I'll make sure that I don't get too close. You'll find affiliate links to all the gear used in the making of this video in the description section down below. If you decide to purchase something through one of my affiliate links, thank you. The price to you will be the same, and I will receive a small commission, which will help me to continue creating content for you here on the channel. Don't forget to leave your comments and questions in the comment section down below as well. I always read your comments. I always answer your questions and comments. And interacting with the channel is an excellent way for me to know the type of content which you would like me to create in future videos. Well, I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and ring on that notification bell to be notified every time a new video drops on my channel. Until the next time, this is Andy at Photech Video signing off. Take care and be safe.